Hello, everyone. Thank you. How are you? I'm also keeping good. Just waiting for people to join in. Himantika is also here. Hi, Himantika.
Hi everybody.
So I guess we'll wait for about 8 to 10 more minutes, right? For everyone to join. Okay, great.
Till then, you guys can let us know in the chat like how excited you all are for the session. Today we have Jyoti and Himantika that will be sharing some knowledge about Appwrite and all. You can let us know in the chat. Hey folks, we are just starting in just in few minutes. Just let us know in the chat how excited you all are for the session. Also, you can give some short information about you, like from where you are and from which university you are. Yeah, awesome folks. I can see like people are from different colleges and different parts of India. It's quite awesome. Yeah, I can see there are people from outside India as well. It's quite awesome. Yeah, hi everyone. Siddharth, Swapnil, Vedant, Amod and all.
Shall we start?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
Awesome. Maybe Himantika, you'd like to share your screen and start?
sure, just give me a second.
hello.
Hi, Anshu. You have a question?
No, ma'am, no any question.
Great. So my screen is shared, and let me know if you can see it.
Yep, we can.
Yep, amazing. I'll just start with the slideshow. And yes, welcome everybody to today's session. It's more of a workshop where me and Jyoti we will be introducing you to Appwrite, and we will be showing you how to build with Appwrite. So before you ask that, what is Appwrite and what do I build with it? A reason why this workshop is there because in this hackathon, She Builds Tech, we Appwrite has a track. So if you find Appwrite interesting and if you are building a full stack application, there's Appwrite to help you to build the entire application, especially the backend parts. So two things for this workshop is meant for. The first one being that you can participate in a track, and the second one being that it can be a help or a resource for your other hackathons where you can use Appwrite to build the backend. Now that I told you a bit about backend and full stack, so maybe you can drop in the chat if you have a hint already about what is Appwrite. If not, maybe you can tell us what you think when you hear about the word Appwrite and it might mean to you. And before we talk about that, let's get introduced to me and to Jyoti as well. And also, here's a point to note that do not forget to ask a lot of questions. If we do not have time right now in the session to answer all of it, me and Jyoti we're always available on Twitter or on LinkedIn or even in our Appwrite Discord channel. So you're always welcome to ask us questions. And the second one is we have a giveaway that will be running in this workshop. So don't forget to participate on that as well. And maybe if you win it, some lucky winners might get a hoodie similar to the one that I'm wearing. I'm not sure if this is visible in the camera or might be something else which is equally interesting. And now comes the part where you get introduced to me. Hi, everybody. I'm Hemantika Mitra, and this is the second session that I'm having in this hackathon. A big thank you to the organizers for inviting me yet again. And yes, I am a developer advocate at Appwrite. Below what you can see is my Twitter handle at the rate Hemantika M. You can follow me there, or if you have any questions, my DM are always open, irrespective of if you follow or not. So you're just DM away or a question away from reaching out to me. And before Appwrite, I used to work at Microsoft in the Outlook and Exchange team. But I have been working with the community for some years now, almost 3 to 4 years now. And I love hackathons, and it's a major part of my learning. So this is a great opportunity, especially for those who are students or just starting to learn new tech or learning to build things. It's a great opportunity for you to learn new concepts, make new friends, and have fun. And basically that's what I did as well. I started with the aim of having fun and making new friends and connections, but ended up loving the tech and the community part of it. And after a year I ended up making that as my career. So yes, that's about me, and I hope after today's session you will have a good takeaway on what is Appwrite. And at any point of time, if you have any questions related to Appwrite, communities, tech careers, or anything in general, like I mentioned, I'm always the DM away. Over to you, Jyoti.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Jyoti, and I see a lot of familiar faces, by the way, because the names are repetitive. So, hi again to you guys. I'm a community support engineer at Appwrite. So, what I basically do is, if you have any doubts, any questions, any support questions, you can come talk to me directly in the community or via DMs. And actually, I've been very intrigued by Appwrite as a product since last year. Last year, by last year, I mean 2021. Let's say I'm still 2022. So 2021. And then in 2023 November, I joined
Mhm.
Appwrite as a community support engineer. And here I am today, there to talk to you about Appwrite, what it is, how you can use it. And also, if you have any questions about Appwrite, throughout the hackathon, starting from today till the hackathon ends, and even after that, you can just directly post it on our Discord, and I will be there to answer it.
Great. Thank you so much, Jyoti. So now that both all of you here know both of us who are from Appwrite, it's time that we talk to you about the giveaway. Are you excited? If yes, drop them in the chat below, or also maybe in the YouTube comment section. I'll be there monitoring to notice and see how excited you are for the giveaway. So before that, this is what we'll be covering into this session. The first one being the introduction, and Jyoti will be walking you through a demo to show you how Appwrite works and how you can build with Appwrite, and follow it with a round of question and answers from you, and wrap it up with some resources. So yes, that's all that is there in today's session, and I hope you're excited. So yes, this is the most awaited part of the session, I think, the giveaway announcement. And at Appwrite, if you follow us on Twitter, you'll be noticing that we do a lot of giveaway. We love swags, and we thought, why make it an exception for this hackathon, and why not have a giveaway for this particular session as well? So we came up with a contest, which is you need to go to Twitter and write a tweet about what you learned from this session, or you can also take a picture of the the slides that we are sharing, or anything that you want, or you can think up. If you want, you can also share memes about this session. So that's totally on you and your creativity. But what we want from you as a part of the giveaway is to share about this particular session in any form on Twitter and tag us, that is Appwrite. Our handle goes @Appwrite, and make a tweet. So when you do that, we will be monitoring all the all the giveaway participations that we have, and probably at the end of the hackathon we will be announcing the results. So for the results, we will be in contact with the organizers of the hackathon, and they are the ones who will convey the results to you. And the second part is to join our Discord community, which can be found on appwrite.io/Discord. If the link is a bit big for you, we also have a QR code at the end, so you can go ahead and scan it and then join a community. So yes, that's all about the giveaway, and I hope you're excited, and I can't wait to see your tweets. So yes, this is where the part starts where you get introduced to Appwrite, and if you are hearing about it for the first time, like I mentioned, just drop in the chat what you think about when you hear about Appwrite for the first time. Is it an API? Is it a tool that helps you build the backend? Is it a tool that helps you with app development? Anything that you can think of, drop them in the comments, and I'm really excited to see what you think when you hear the name Appwrite. So the first part of this particular session is to get introduced to Appwrite, and I will be leading you through this. And the next part is basically the demo. Once you know the theoretical part, or once you know what the basic is, what Appwrite does, the next part will be to just see how it works and how you can integrate it into your apps. At this point, I cannot monitor the chat, so I don't know how many of you got it correct. But yes, this is what Appwrite means. It is an open source backend server. So when you hear about the word open source, it's what it also means is Appwrite is free to use. It started as an open source project back in 2017, if I'm not wrong. And it was a side project, it was an open source side project by our CEO and founder Eldad. And his motive was to have a tool that helps developers, go beyond the complexities of backend and make backend very easy for everybody. And it started as a side project. It ended up being a company. While there were only 4 or 5 people who were working in the company building this product, at present we are 30 plus people who are, spread across the world, and we are here to build Appwrite. So, yes, basically Appwrite is an open source project, but it's now a company and it's a backend server. So when you what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about a backend server? Just to explain you in as simple terms as possible, when you see a website, for example, an e-commerce website, you'll see that there is the front end part and there is also the back end part. So the front end part is the one that looks very pretty, right? There are buttons, there is the hamburger icon, and everything that you see. The good part of the website is the front end, but it's the back end where the ugly things happen, right? So when you click on the button, it's either calling an API, making you place the orders, or when you're clicking on button, it is taking you to a different page and making all that actions happen. So the backend is basically the part of the development where you are putting in the logic and the complex stuffs happen. So a lot of developers face this problem that there are a lot of complexities that are involved in the backend development, and this is the part that they do not want to handle or they want to avoid. So what Appwrite is doing is Appwrite is making this easy for you, and all that you need to worry about is the front end. The backend is on us. Jyoti will be showing you how you can use Appwrite and how the backend can be built in just a few minutes, and how a full stack project can be built by you in a matter of a few hours, just by building the front end and integrating all of it with the Appwrite backend server. So in simple terms, this is what Appwrite does. But the next question that you might have that, okay, but why do we actually need it? So here's how Appwrite started, or here are the problems that we want to face, and these are the problems that developers in general face. First is that as developers, or as software engineers, you need to know a, a few things. When it's an under course, it means that you need to know a lot of things to get a full stack application rolled out, right? So there are the front end technologies and frameworks, and in the back end there are a ton of other technologies, and there is cloud. Then to add to some more complexities, now there is Web3, and there are so many different things that keeps adding to the tech stack that a developer needs to know. So what if we can make one part of it a less of a problem to you, and we can simplify that? And that is the major reason why Appwrite developed, and why it can and how it can help you to build the backend. The next thing is to there are a lot of tasks that are very repetitive across projects. Let's say that one of you wants to make an e-commerce website, and there is another person who wants to make a note-taking website. So out of all the similarities and dissimilarities that these two projects have, one thing that is there in common is the authentication part, right? So whenever you are in an e-commerce website, for example, Amazon, you'll see that there is a login part, there is a sign up part, and even when you are in a note taking website or any other website or even a social media, if you're talking about that, you'll see that there is a login and there's a sign up part. So this authentication is typically something that is there in almost every application that you can think about, and it becomes very repetitive across multiple projects. If Appwrite or a project that is helping you build the backend did not exist, you would have to build the front end, sorry, the authentication part every time in each applications that we are building. But what Appwrite does right now is we have APIs and we have SDKs within Appwrite that can help you not repeat this process, because the authentication is already there. You just need to do a few clicks, integrate the front end and the back end, and that is on Appwrite, and your application and your authentication will be ready. And the third point is, the security. You'll see there are a lot of debates or questions around what is the security of this application, and a lot of times engineers or developers, they do not have an answer to it, because security is something that is not an easy topic, and it takes plenty of years for one to master. But when there's already some software or some service that is taking care of your security, you don't really need to worry about that part. So with Appwrite, you also have that problem solved by us. And basically, these are some of the problems, and this is not even the entire list of problems the developers face. Maybe some of you can tell us the problems that you are facing while building a full stack application, and we can tell you how Appwrite can solve that. And also the best part about Appwrite is, like I mentioned, it is open source, which means that it's free, and it is self-hosted. Self-hosted in the sense that you can use your machines to host yourself. You do not have to rely on cloud or anything else. Or if you want to host it on cloud, you can do that as well, and that can be a cloud of your choice. So basically, Appwrite is not controlling or locking you in to certain services. It's everything, the security and everything that you want to do is in your own hands. And basically, like I mentioned, Appwrite's goal is to make software development a lot less painful. So now that we talked about Appwrite, and I told that okay, Appwrite can make you help you build the backend. So what are some of the services that we have within Appwrite? The first one being, this is my favorite example, like I just gave with a social media service and an e-commerce service, is authentication and users management. So almost every application that you can think about have authentication, and with Appwrite you can do that as simple as possible, because you already have APIs for it. The next one is database. Database or data is equally important in almost every application. So Appwrite also has that for you. Then you have storage. Then there are cloud functions in almost 11 plus languages right now. Then there is webhooks, built-in security, geolocation and localization, image manipulation, and every services that have been listed right now are all real time. So you can see that whenever you're thinking of building an application, these are some of the services that you need, and all of these services are there in one place. So you don't need to look into n different places and get all of it together. So if you have one part sorted and the other part is on Appwrite, you can simply integrate them and have a full stack application ready for you. And also, if it's not only about web applications, Appwrite can be used for mobile applications as well. So for those who are Flutter developers here, Appwrite is a very it's a very loved choice by most Flutter developers, and that is because of the Dart functions that we have. So you can find functions in different languages like Java, then there is Kotlin, then there is .NET, and Dart is also one of them. Uh, I can hear somebody's unmuted. Is there a question? Do I need to stop?
I think there
No?
was a hand raised in the queue. I think Anshu, you raised a hand.
Yeah,
Okay, I think we are fine.
great. What we can do is I am almost done with the introduction part. While I'm closing it off and handing it over to Jyoti, you can ask me questions, or what I'll do is if there are questions in the text box, I'll go and answer them while Jyoti is teaching you or showing you the demo. And yes, this, like I mentioned, are some of the other services that Appwrite has. And very recently, we also introduced GraphQL as a service. So now with Appwrite, you not only have real-time APIs, REST APIs, you also have GraphQL APIs. So it's on you. The choice is on you. Use your creativity, use your development skills to build anything as and the way you like with Appwrite. So yes, now over to you, Jyoti. I'll stop sharing my screen. I'm sure that people are very excited to see how Appwrite can be put into action. So yes, now the stage is all yours.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. So I wrote, like, if you can write +100 in the chat if you have started liking Appwrite already. If you haven't, then there's nothing to say. Oh, I see a lot of people have started typing in the chat. Awesome. I didn't know this little trick that we could do 10 to the power 10, but that's intriguing. So I'll share my screen now. And how many of you have... Okay, so just let me ask a question to you. What is the weirdest application, or what is the most unique application that you have ever built? Or any app idea that you have ever built? Mine was, I built a celebrity face similarity app. So it's like you enter your face and it will show you, how similar it is, which celebrity it is the most similar to. And it had a lot of errors. So it ended up matching your faces to actually animals, which was not even supposed to happen. But hey, you built Rick Rolling. I'm pretty sure it was Aditya who made it. Okay, Codezilla. Story Saver app. Is it like Instagram Story Saver? A Fight Club website. The first rule of the Fight Club is that we never talk about the Fight Club. An app that could distinguish artificially generated faces from the real ones. I built a staking D app for artist painters. Oh, nice. So, very good ideas. And if you have built these apps, you have had to build like backend, right? And you know how tough it can be to build a backend, because let's face it, that if you are in college, you don't have so much time to use that backend in your mini project, because we have NSEMs, we have mid semesters, we have practicals and everything. And in hackathon, especially when you have limited time, but you want to make a very good application that has an overall backend implemented, that is when Appwrite comes to the rescue. Yes, the best part is to build a completely malfunctioning project, but not here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a live demo. So, first, let me show you what it looks like. And it actually looks like this. It's a very simple login page. It's an authentication using Appwrite, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to learn how to use authentication, how to use database, and how actually you can use Appwrite. I think so Imantika mentioned a point in a slide that said about security, right? So let's just take this as an example. Not only security of the database, but also security of your application, right? So first I'll go into the login. First I'll go into the front end part, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you might not be familiar with JavaScript or React or TypeScript. So I'm going to make this as easy as possible. Although if you had like more time, I would have coded it in front of you. But I'm going to explain it as easily as possible so you understand it, understand every piece of code. And just a quick heads up, Like, can you write +1 in the chat if you've ever coded in any one language, so that I know that you haven't. Great. So basically, you might agree when I say that coding languages differ, but once you learn how to code in one language, you can at least understand the logic behind the code that's written. You kind of get a hang of it. So just trust me on this. And first, there was a question about beginner issues for Appwrite. So yes, we all have a lot of beginner issues also. What you're going to do is, I think so we have good Yep, we have good first issues, so you could go and try those issues. Okay, I'm going to leave a link in the chat. Yep, Ruby. Let's not go into Ruby because
And
hmm,
also, just to add up to the good first issues, so we have another repository that is called the Appwrite Awesome Repo. If you're building anything with Appwrite, you can go ahead and raise a PR there and submit your projects or your blogs or your videos there. So that can be your first contribution to October, sorry, not October or Hacktoberfest. I just saw the message and that's what came to mind. So that can be your first open source contribution and your contribution to Appwrite. And maybe after you have had some amount of experience using Appwrite, there can be issues that you are facing, and you can also raise an issue to our to our repository. So when it comes to contributing to open source, it's not about solving issues all the time. It's also about raising issues, opening a discussion, helping the community. So there are n ways by which you can contribute. That's just a friendly tip.
yep, exactly. And we love showcasing. So as you can see, we have a lot of also like I guess this is a tip for your hackathon. You can take inspo, or if you want help, like these are all the apps that our community has built with Appwrite. So if you're looking for inspiration, if you're looking for tutorials, if you're looking for anything and everything, you can go over here. Also, I'm going to share a link for Appwrite crash course. It's a 1 hour course. It's free. It's on YouTube. And if you want, like after the session, you're looking to dive more into Appwrite, like get deeper into it, you can watch that tutorial. All right, great. So let's go. So after, first of all, I would like to know from you, in this front end application, in this full stack application, you can see there is a front end and a back end, that is Appwrite, right? So the front end has a home button, a login button, a sign up button, and there is a form that has your email and password in it. So it's basically a very simple authentication using Appwrite. So all you need right now is a template, right? That renders all of you. That renders all of this. So this screen has to be built by front end. So I'm going to quickly show you about what a front end is based on. Also, I will send the link of this code base also, so you guys can just see what is happening, how it is happening, so you don't get confused. All right. So this is my base folder, and what I have is a bunch of known modules. We don't need to go into that. We have a public folder in which I have just these two logos, which is Appwrite and White. So why this? Because this logo comes from there. All right. And after that, we have SRC where all the stuff happens. Okay. Now, all we are concerned is all these files, but we are not concerned with Appwrite or TS right now. We'll go into that a bit later. Okay. So, as you might see, there's a home page. There's a login page. This page is what we see over here. All right. Now let's just try and see how it works. If you're not familiar with JavaScript and TypeScript, it's okay. Don't worry, don't panic. Like, I don't understand anything that's written. It's totally fine. All right. So what we are trying to do over here is we have a function called as login. And what we are trying to do is we want email and password, right? I mean, of course, when you have a login page, you all need email and password. Is anything else required for login at the top of your head? Right now, we don't require anything else. So what we're going to do is we want an email and we want a password. Now, obviously, this is a very simple question, but I want to ask you all, login and sign up. What features differ in these two pages? So if I go to login and sign up, how are these two different? Sign up ID, you are new. Yes, login is for existing users. That's amazing. So you might understand that login is for existing users and sign up is for a new user. So when you're having login, you need to work with database. Like you need to match that if you have an email, if the password matches to that email or not, if the user exists already or not, right? For sign up, it's just like, okay, if the email is valid or not, and for password, you can put some conditions. So first, let's understand login, and then we'll go into sign up. So what we have right now is we have an event which is, I mean, if you don't understand JavaScript, it's totally fine. Okay. So what happens is on submitting, right? You have to see email and you have to check password. So if these fields are empty, then you will send an alert that an email is required, a password is required. This is basic logic, right? Like you need both the things, else your login will fail. That is just simple logic. Then, all right. So then you call the login function, and then what you are doing is you have to, after this is successfully done, you have to alert that okay, we are successfully logged in from OS name. So I'm on a Mac right now, so it will show over here some alert that okay, you are logged in, successfully logged in from Mac. All right, great. So is this part clear till now? If you have any questions, just feel free to stop me, or we have a Q&A session at the end also, so just don't worry about it. Okay, great. Now I'm just going to go into sign up and just tell you how the logic differs. So again, you have to enter both the fields, the email and the password. Also, okay, so when you sign up, do you have restrictions on passwords? So like there might be the system might be telling you, hey, I need 15 characters. Hey, I need a combination of symbols, numbers, alphabets. Does this happen with you? It does, right? Strong passwords. And I suck at making strong passwords because I don't know why are you asking me to mix numbers and characters, which I won't even remember, right? But it's okay. We are gonna keep it simple. We just want that password length should be um, at least 8 characters long. So this is like an exception that if the password length is less than 8, I'm going to throw an error that please make it at least 8 characters long. This is the bare minimum, right? After all of, if there are no alerts, if it runs smoothly that okay, your email is good, your password is more than 8, then I'm going to register the user successfully. All right, great. Any questions till now? Yep, forgot password is something that I use very much. Great. Now these are some basic layout, home and footer. So layout is basically it shows you home, login, sign up. So what you see over here, okay. And after that, what you have is Appwrite's logo that we can see very uh, bold and very shiny. You shouldn't forget about it. And then we have home. So home is basically that will take you to your sign up page and login page. And footer, you all know footer. I mean, come on. I always forget putting footer in my application. So these are some components. So what are components? As the name suggests, that components are the building blocks with which an application, a front-end application is made. So this is what I explained to you. And now for your hackathon, you can use it in any language you write, in any, if even if you want like React, if you want any other front-end language, you can use that. We don't have any problem with you using a different kind of front end. Even if your application is not a web application, it's a Flutter application, it's an Android application, it's totally fine. You do you, whatever you want as front end. Okay. Now, first of all, how many of you like CSS or even remotely like it? I hate CSS. So if you know the drill, I actually hate CSS because I don't hate it because I understand it. I hate it because I don't understand it. So this is just some basic CSS. It's a very basic styling over here. Just our beautiful gray and pink colors. Also, plus 102 people who can search the color of this logo. We did this in our workshop last time, and a lot of people came up with like hex code of this color. But if you can tell me which color is this, I'll give you some brownie points. Okay, great. So let's come into app.tsx. As the name suggests, that okay, app.tsx. It's like very authentic name, very generic name. So it must be an important file. It is an important file. So it's telling you that when you click on login, go to login. When you click on sign up, go to sign up. So it's basically how am I doing this? If I'm clicking on sign up, if I'm clicking on login, how is it showing me this page? You can see localhost slash login will give me this page and the URL will change as I click on it, right? Now index.css, I told you, CSS, let's not paste that. Okay, now let's go to appwrite.ts. This is the part where the fun part begins. Okay, first, installing Appwrite. So Appwrite installation is quite easy. How many of you have Docker installed? Docker, how many of you have used it? Okay, great. So installing Appwrite using Docker is very, very easy because why not? So you just see the website. If you want to, install it, whatever terminal you are on, if you're on Unix, command shell, PowerShell, you can use that particular command and you can just copy it. Okay. So I already have, for this you have to have Docker running. Just open Docker, set up Docker properly on your laptops and just open it. Okay. After that, once your Docker is open, go to your terminal and type the command in. That is this one. So for me, it's Unix. So this is the command that I have to run. Okay. So as you can see, I already have run this command. And once you run this command, it will show you that starting Appwrite installation. And as you can see, I'm very lazy. So I just pressed enter so that everything defaults to default. And now you can see over here, Appwrite installed successfully. So if you have if you can see Appwrite installed successfully, congratulations to you. You have almost half the part ready, right? So this is as simple as anything else, just you have to install. After you install, as you can see, okay, let's just play Dora the Explorer. So can you tell me the Appwrite host name on which I have to go, on which my Appwrite is running, like the name of the host on which Appwrite is running? You can type in the chat. Himantika might be seeing it. I'm not able to see it, but you can just type it in the chat. What is the host name where Appwrite is running currently on my laptop? I'm pretty sure you are able to see it.
Kanak got it right. Sujay got it right as well.
So default is
Sushmita.
yeah. So if I go to localhost, if I just type localhost, then I'm taken to Appwrite login page. Okay. Now I'm already logged in, but if you're not logged in, you can just like any other website. I'm pretty sure you guys have used Instagram, Facebook, other different websites, GitHub. You just have to sign up or sign in on this particular localhost, and you will be able to see all of your personal projects. Okay. So now what you do is simple as that. You just create a new project. You name it anything. So give me a random name, like for this session, I should write like Sheebles maybe. Sheebles project. Okay. I just create a project. And by the way, we have a lot of platforms. If you want to use any of these platforms, we would be more than happy to help you use it. So I currently have a web app. I'm not using anything else. I don't have an Apple app. I don't have Android. I don't have Flutter. Okay. But what I'm concerned with right now mostly is the authentication, because I am going into authentication, right? Now, first, let me just show you clearly. Overview is where everything about your project lies. Project ID is over here. So project ID is very important because it is the thing that connects the whole project together. Authentication is when you have a particular app, you want to implement authentication and you want to see users, teams, use it, security, settings, everything, right? In settings, we have like authentication methods. If you want to use email password, you want to use team invites, you want to use phone, you want to use JWT, magic URLs, anything. Till now, whatever login pages you have seen, till now, wherever you have authenticated yourself, be it Gmail, be it Facebook, be it Instagram, be it any particular website, you always see there's an option, right? Either to use email password or you want to use phone. I think so. Google uses phone a lot. It sends you a prompt and then uses authentication and anything else. If you want your application to only run on email password, you can close the other. But I'm like, I'm a very giving person, so I'm like, use anything you want. All right. Now, databases is the part where all the database related to your application is stored. Okay, you can create your own database, whatever you want to create. You can just click on it and I'm going to write it. She bills DP. I'm going to just create it. Okay, so and it will also show you usage, so everything. Basically, we have some very pretty graph. Shout out to our design team. And then we have functions are some of the most powerful things in app, right? Okay, and as a beginner, I'm not saying that it's very easy, but if you ever have a hard time understanding any of these, just click on documentation and you'll be taken there. Also, can you write +1 in the chat if you have a habit of reading documentation? Because I have. And let me tell you guys, reading documentation is more helpful than any assignment you'll ever get in your college. That's how I learned it. So, documentation is something that helps you. And trust us, we have built a very good app documentation for you. It's very beginner friendly. So, if you ever feel like that you're getting stuck, you can't see, you can't like you don't understand, so you can just go over here. We have examples in different languages. Whatever language you need, just ask us and we'll tell you about how it works. If you think that, okay, hey, I still don't understand, then come to our Discord in our support channel and we'll help you out. Okay, now the things that I'm explaining over here on the left hand side are also over here. Okay, if you can see this. So as we go into database, you can see client side database. So you can create how to create a document and list documents, whatever documents you're having. And we also have examples of the request. So we have a lot of examples engraved in our documentation, so you don't feel like, okay, I don't understand how to do it. Or if you want, you can just copy paste it and change it according to your likes. Great. So after we have installation, and storage is buckets, but again, it might sound like difficult to you right now because storage and functions might be new to you, but trust me, it's not at all difficult. Great. Now what I'm going to do is, I already have this project, but it's totally fine if you want to create a new one. So what do I have till now? I have a front end. I have created a project in Appwrite. Although I don't know how to connect this front end to my database. Like I want, my authentication. Like I want that I enter over here my email and password, and it shows to me in my user that, okay, this is how a website tracks users, right? They have the database of the people signing in. So let's just see that. So this file is very important, which is appwrite.ts. Okay. And if you haven't seen in my terminal, I actually installed Appwrite over here. The command was yarn add Appwrite if you want to add it again. So we have this. This part is extremely important right now. But first, let me just go over here and show you if you are like very new, then how you would go about it. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Yep. As you can see, where do I get this code from? I'm not a magician. I'm not like, okay, I know everything, I'm just going to write this code on my own. No. You go into SDKs, you go into this portion, Appwrite for Web, Flutter, Apple, Android server, CLI, SDKs. Over here, you can get the commands that are needed for your particular application. Okay, it can be anything, any application you're building. Again, this hackathon is like very inclusive. So even if you're using Android, it's fine. Even if you're using Flutter, it's fine. Okay, so if you are taking an example of Flutter, So as you can see, the creation of a project remains constant, but then again, you have to add your platform over here. Okay. After that, you have an SDK. Okay, great. You can see the example over here about what we are using, how we are using. Again, I said these examples will help you understand what's actually happening, how is it happening. But what I'm concerned with right now is that it is my application and I want to see how I build it with, like how I have built it. So I go into Web SDK and I see, okay, these are some things written over here which I don't understand as a beginner. I'm not even understanding, but I totally understand that, okay, there are some demos to help me. And I totally understand this example because as I can see, it's importing client account and ID from Appwrite. So we have some inbuilt functions already implemented. And we are building a new client where we have a set endpoint and we have a set project. All right. Now, this part is the main part which connects your front end to your app, right? So basically, endpoint is where your project will be hosted. Please remember that. All right. And then we have a project, which is this is your project ID. Now, I'm just going to play Dora the Explorer again with you. And can you tell me on the screen where you see a project ID written? Like, this is my project. But where is my project ID? Can you can you see the project ID written somewhere?
Yeah, I think it's hidden,
Yeah,
but you can copy it.
exactly. So if I click this, I'm just going to copy paste in the browser. This is my project ID. So I can see it. That's quite good. But to be honest, it's also in your URL. So if you want, you can take it from there. So as you can see, I have a client, I have an endpoint, and I have a project. Okay, which is great. Now, this is the only part, like, it's as simple as this. Now, let's just go over here. And this is my already created project. I've done nothing is the same. But if I just click the project ID, and where I have to enter it is in set project, and I have to enter the set endpoint. Now, a very good practice is to set your secret keys in a .env file. Okay, so what I could have done is I could have just written it like, okay, like I could have just written it like this. But what I did was I wrote it in a variable. Okay, so white Appwrite project and white Appwrite URL, these are two variables which are stored in .env file, as you can see, right? I'm just going to paste my project ID so you can see it's same. Okay, great. I hope you know what variables are. Variables are placeholders for any value. So white Appwrite URL is basically the URL, and white Appwrite project is basically the project ID that I have already. So if I go over here, these values are like .env. Just it's telling my project to go into environment file and just get those variables. All right. I hope this part is clear. If this is clear, then I'm pretty sure the paths ahead will be very, very easy for you. Now, what I'm concerned is with login right now and sign up. So what I'm doing is, now, do you remember this function? I think we called it over here. Can you see this? If you can, just write +1 in the chat so I understand you can. So I'm calling my login function and it is taking an input of, it is sending email and password. I go to appwrite.ts. Okay, my input is an email and there is also a password. These are parameters, right? I hope you understand what parameters are in functions. So what it's doing is it's going to, again, it's very good to put your code into exception handling because this makes your code a lot better. So what we have, it is a try catch block. So what we are trying to do is try this part. If this doesn't work, then throw an error. Okay. So what we are doing is, again, to repeat, we are calling the login function. If this runs successfully, only then this message will show, right? So if I go back over here, if this part runs successfully, then it will send back the message that, hey, this was successful. But if not, it will throw an error. Okay. So what we are trying to do is we are creating a new account, right? I mean, of course, your email is correct. Your password is greater than 8 characters. What else do you want? So you want just a new account to be created and account.create email session, right? And then we have sign up, which we have no set as register. So if we go over here, sign up, as you can see, we are calling the register password, register function. And in that, the parameters are email and password again. We are going back over here. We are doing that, hey, take my email, take my password, and tell me if I'm the correct user. So it will again try this part, else it will throw an error. So what the try part is, it's telling you that, hey, can you just go and create a unique user over there? Why is this unique function used? Can anybody like make a guess? In sign up, why have we used unique? But although in login, we haven't used unique over here. As you can see, we haven't used unique over here, but in sign up, we have used unique. Can anybody tell? No duplicate users, exactly. Very good. So for one email, we have only one user. It will detect that, okay, password can be same, but email, we are not allowing the same emails, okay? Great. I hope till now this is clear, okay? If it's not, just feel free to ask your questions and just um, let me know whatever you want. So what we are doing is appwrite.create email session, appwrite.create. As you can see, here we are creating a session. A session is a thing that closes after some time, right? I hope you understand sessions. If you don't, it's totally fine. So session is like, I logged into my Mac right now. So my session started. Now when I will close my Mac, the session will end. Okay. So when you're logging out, what you're doing for logging out, do you need any parameters? You don't need email password. I mean, when you go to Instagram and you log out, the app doesn't ask you to, hey, can you tell me your email password before going? I mean, just imagine how irritating and frustrating would that be, right? When a logout function is clicked, just go and delete that session, whatever the current session is, right? And get user data is like very, very easy, that you are trying to get the data of the user. And I think so, these four functions are very easy to understand. And trust me, this is the whole backend right now, which I'm showing you. Okay. Now, what I need to do is nothing. I need to just run the project, which I'm already running. So the command for this project is yarn dev, and it is running on a particular server, which is this localhost 5173, right? So what I do is I copy this, and as you can see, Appwrite URL localhost/v1. Please don't forget v1. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you will face errors if you forget v1. So please don't forget v1. Why is it localhost? Because our Appwrite is running on localhost, right? So we are trying to connect it. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to connect my front end to something that is hosted on this particular server, and I'm trying to connect it to this project title. I hope you understand this now. So when we go over here, I have it open already. As you can see, localhost 5173. If I just make it like this, all right, let's see, sign up, login. As you can see, the routes are changing. If I click on sign up, it will show /sign up. If I put login, so now let's sign up. Can anybody of you randomly tell me any email ID and any password? I'll just try to put it. Anyone, like any email. Okay. abc@xyz. Okay, I'll put abc@xyz. And password Appwrite is good. I love this password. But I want to see you what happens when we put a password which is less than 8 characters. So I'm going to put just 3 characters. So as you can see, it gives me an alert that, hey, just go and make your password more than 8 characters. Okay. So what I'm going to put is app write. Wait, app write is good. Okay. So I just put sign up, and I'm pretty sure it's loading or not loading. I'm not sure. Hmm. Well, there must be some course error. Let me just see. As I precedented, But hey, let's go to login first. So I already have a login application. I'm pretty sure I surpassed the request for today because I was preparing for this. So I already have a user, which is my personal username, email ID. And I just go over here and I just put it over here. And password, you can see the password. I'm just going to, what should I write the password? Also, this gives you a Thanos power, so you can change the password of a user, but please don't do it. It's not a good thing. So what I have my password is this, and I'm going to update it in front of you, and then I'm going to write it over here. So you don't feel like I already have a password in mind. No, I'm going to write Appwrite is good, and I'm going to see a login, and you can see I'm successfully logged in from Mac, and this is the whole thing that connects. This is the like the how the whole application runs and how everything around it revolves. Again, if you'll sign up, you'll see new users. As and when you keep on signing up, you will see users adding, and this list will increase. Okay, if you want to create user, you can create it manually from here itself. So let's just put ABC randomly and just put ABC at the rate. So this gives you admin access, right? And phone number. I'm not pretty sure if you want to put that. Password, let's put Appwrite is awesome, right? In must be a valid email address. So it recognizes that, hey, your domain is not actually working. What you're going to do is we're going to do it like this, and then we're going to go into auth, as you can see over here. And let's just go, oh, by the way, log out. And what did we have it? We had it at abc@gmail.com. And I'm going to write a different password. I'm not going to write Appwrite is awesome. I'm going to write Appwrite is good. And let's see if it gives me error. Oh, email is required. Oh, I accidentally clicked it again. So as you can see, it doesn't allow me to log in. It says like, it isn't allowing me to log in. But if I put abc@gmail.com, and if I don't mess up the password, if I remember it correctly, what did Appwrite is awesome. As you can see, hey, it works. So this is how simple using Appwrite is. Now, as I promised, I'm going to give you a crash course, which is from Appwrite. So you can spend the time today learning about it. So this is by Hitesh Chaudhary, and it's a 1 hour, 11-minute course. And I'm pretty sure this much if you're learning it. And this is, yes, we have phone auth also as shown over here in authentication. You can go to settings. You have a phone also, okay? If you have enabled it, if you have in my form, there's no way I can enter the phone, right? But if I have it, it will show over here. Let me just show you. It will show over here, okay? And if you want to log in using phone, then you can also do it. You just need this phone part enabled so that you can, if I turn it off, then you cannot log in using phone. If I turn it on, then yes, authentication using phone is possible. Great. Now, last but not the least, if you need inspiration, if you need like, hey, okay, this was just one example, I need more. So as we told you, go to Awesome App, right? And whatever language you're using, right? So for example, I am using, let's say I'm going to use Flutter. So I'm going to go to Flutter and I can see, oh, wow, there are a lot of people who have made a lot of applications using Flutter. So I go to source code. We always backlink source code because they put it on GitHub. And I can see, oh, wow, somebody created in almost Instagram using Appwrite. Just imagine creating an Instagram with a backend with Appwrite, like just few minutes. In few minutes, you can build a backend like Appwrite. It also shows you how to run it for Unix, Windows. Again, how you can set up the project, how you can install the CLI, how you can go ahead and set up the project, right? It has all the commands and how you can go and use it. So this repository will be very useful for you, I think, for hackathon. And last but not the least, whatever app you're building, so if you want, you can create a pull request by and add your application in whichever language you have created it. Just go to that language, make a pull request to us, and you can add it over there. If your application works fine and is like works correctly, is using Appwrite, we will love to merge your pull request. Okay, so that was it. Just me blabbering for uh, quite a long time, but now I'm ready to take some questions. I think I can share my screen, or you won't be able to see my screen actually. Upright is free, yes. Yes, exactly. It's so I think I forgot to show that, but I did show that. Just give me 1 second. So if you the people who asked OAuth providers, this is a list of OAuth providers if you want to see. Like somebody asked about Google authentication using Firebase, like Firebase. So you can see Google, you can see LinkedIn, you can see like if you want to, log in using GitHub, log in using Amazon, a lot of things. Just go around and play with it. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find some very awesome and cool stuff, which doesn't require you to code a lot. Okay, I'm ready to take in more questions. Kamal, did you have a question?
Oh yes, I have. Actually, the question is about the endpoint.
Sure.
So you use the endpoint like localhost/v1.
Yeah.
So say I make an app, I deploy it on Vercel, and then I get a different URL for it. So should I change it?
Oh, actually, the link that you're going to use is where your Appwrite is running. So when you saw, just give me 1 second, I'll show you. So as you can see on my terminal, my wherever it is running, that is my endpoint, right? So it's basically the code is telling you that, hey, go to this endpoint and connect to this project ID, and I'll run your application, right? So it doesn't matter whatever your URL is, wherever it's running, you can add it. It doesn't have to be localhost always. It just have to be your hostname slash v1, like HTTPS slash hostname slash v1.
Okay, so does that mean that if I want my app to run, so I
Mhm.
will have to keep that means that Docker running?
Yes, Docker is kind of essential. Just have it running. It runs containers, right? So, like containers are required to keep your backend running. So, if you want, also one more thing, if you want, you can host your backend also. Like you can have a self-hosted app, right? Backend. It totally depends on you how you want to do it.
I mean, like if I deploy the app on
Hmm.
Vercel and I sleep, then would the app's backend running?
I'm pretty sure the answer to this would be depends on the activity of your laptop and Docker and your containers, not on you sleeping, obviously. If your containers are running, so essentially your backend is running, right?
Okay, so that means I have to make the containers be in running state.
Yeah. So if you have deployed it, then let me just like which platform are you planning to use? Wait,
I can deploy on Vercel,
no,
Netlify,
I'm not
anything.
also like front end and like overall what you're planning to use.
Sorry.
Like overall as a front end for the front end and deployment, as you said you want Vercel to be used for front end, what are you planning to use?
Language?
Yeah.
I can use React, I can use Next.
Okay, awesome. Just let me look into this and let you know. Are you on
Yep.
in a community Discord?
I have joined Shebuild Discord. I've tagged you on Twitter, by the way. So
Oh, you
yep,
type.
I will catch you later.
Sure. Awesome, let's have a chat about this in our Discord community as well.
Yep. Thank you.
Great, keep those questions coming. We are almost about to end the session. So by the way, back to Himantika, we have some cool announcement by Himantika also about
Yes.
yeah, she'll tell
Great.
you.
So I'll be sharing my screen once again. And thank you, Jyoti, for the wonderful demo. I'm sure after seeing the demo, a lot of people will be interested to use Appwrite in the applications or in the hackathon projects. So now that we are done with the demo, and I hope that some of you will be using Appwrite in your projects, or not only for this hackathon, but in your side projects or in other hackathons as well. If you do, you can always DM me on the Appwrite Discord channel or also on Twitter. Like I mentioned, my DMs are always open, and I would love to feature you all in the community spotlight. So in this spotlight, what we are doing is we are highlighting all the projects that are built by the Appwrite community and are running in production. So this is yet another opportunity by you to get featured by Appwrite. And now it's time for question and answers. If you have any, please feel free to unmute yourself, or you can also drop them in the chat. I have answered few of your questions, and I think the common question that a lot of you might have is why use Docker, and if there are some alternatives to it. So I also I have also shared a link of the one-click setups that we have. So you can use DigitalOcean, or you can also use Gitpod. So that's basically one click, and that will set you up, help you set up Appwrite in just a click. So that's our other alternatives of installing Appwrite.
Yep.
And
Just to stop you
yes,
there, sorry. So if you just click on one-click setups, uh, in front of Gitpod there is a click to install. Just click on it right now, and you'll just see what we mean by one click. It just has Appwrite running in front of you. You don't need anything. Just try it on yourself, right? Just try it for yourself right now, and let us know if it was easy for you.
exactly. So I know that Appwrite might be a very new uh, software or a service that you heard about for the first time. And like Jyoti mentioned, the good first step to learn such new tech stacks is by going to the docs. So Appwrite, anything about Appwrite can be found in appwrite.io. Just go to your favorite browser, type in appwrite.io, and you'll have all the required information there. There under the docs section, you'll see documentation of each of the services that we have, and that also includes the snippets where Jyoti showed that she is getting the code from. So everything that you need is there on the docs. And if you're interested to learn Appwrite and want to do a project-based learning, like at the end of 30 days, you want to have a project built by all by yourself, and with Appwrite, you can also go through 30 days of Appwrite. That's a great good first step to learn about Appwrite. And the third place is basically the GitHub repository of Appwrite. I shared you the issues link. So if you want to know, or if you want to see what Appwrite is building every day, what are the PRs we're merging, or the features that we will be building, everything is there out in public. Or if you want to contribute and join our community of, at present we have over 100,000 developers, you are more than free to do that. And also, if you really like Appwrite, you can also give a follow or drop a star. So yes, that's all from us. Thank you for being such patient listeners. This is the QR code to join our Discord community. Like I mentioned, if the appwrite.io/Discord channel link is a big or difficult for you to follow, you can just scan the QR code and join the Discord community. So that place is your one-stop all destination for anything fun. Fun in the sense that we host monthly loots every month, and that's an opportunity for you to get some more Appwrite swags. And last month, that is on December, we wrapped up an event where you had to share memes and tag Appwrite, and 3 winners would be getting, a nice swag pack from us. So that's just one example. We keep hosting them every month. So if you want to join for some fun, or also to learn tech or anything in general, or to find a friend, the community is there for you. I'll be keeping it here for a while. I heard somebody probably raised your hand. Maybe you can unmute yourself, or Jyoti can help you if there are any questions.
Hi, I'm Shushmita Dey. I'm in my third year of college. It's final year, and I'm a web developer, and I have recently applied for a DevRel role, DevRel social media manager role.
Yeah.
Uh, may I know when I would be getting any reply back from the team?
Yes, so there's no particular, timeline for you to get a reply. This is something that is handled by the operations team or the hiring team, and we at the devel team has no authority over that. And taking into consideration that there is holiday season that is still going on, and not only if not in India, in different parts of the world, like I mentioned, the company is remote and there are people all across the world. So it will probably take a few more days for you to hear back. and also to know that rejection emails are not sent. So if you are accepted, somebody from the team will reach out to you via email.
So how will I know that I'm rejected or
So you only get to know about acceptance and sorry about the interview email. So probably I'm not giving you exact numbers, but mostly in 3 months, if you don't hear back, you can consider it as a no. But this is not something that is a definite timeline. I'm just giving you numbers to just give you a vague expectation, but that's not true. But it can really depend depending on the number of applications we are having, because applications are all viewed by humans. Our team members are viewing applications by hand, so it generally takes some time. But yes, since we are hiring very actively, if you are selected for the interview stage, you will be contacted very soon.
thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks to both the speaker for such an amazing session. I personally got to learn a lot of things regarding app, right? So
Just to stop you there, sorry. Hemant, there is a question about what is the deadline of the task in the giveaway? Like, do we have any?
I would say that typically by today, 11:59 p.m. And because this is just a 1 day contest that we are running, and we will be seeing going through all the tweets that we receive, and we'll be contacting Bhavna and the team with the winner's name, and we'll be having it soon, probably by the end of the hackathon. Bhavna, whenever they decide, the team decides to announce, they'll do it.
also, other than that, in the hackathon itself, we have a specific track, best use of Appwrite. If you are interested on building Appwrite, you can target this track as well and win some cash prize as well. And apart from that, before we close, I just like to remind you all to register for our hackathon if you haven't registered yet. So all you need to just click on the links that is shared in the chat and fill out the details and you are in. So thanks for joining us. We will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. with some another amazing session and amazing speaker. So thank you everyone. Happy hacking.
Thank you everyone for joining
Thank
in. See
you.
you in our Discord.
Yep. Bye bye.
Bye bye.